But I heard that that's a really good Bible.
I like him. I had a really good study Bible by him. It was given to me as a gift when I graduated from college. And I had it sitting on my desk from work, and someone took it.
Oh.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Sylvia. Thank you for joining us again. If you have not already done so, please take a moment and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and then share this video. This week, Kanisha and I are talking about our favorite study Bibles and why we use them. We actually did this backwards, and so Kanisha was the first video, but we decided to flip it around with you and show mine, and then we'll show hers up next week. So before we get started, how about you take a second and in the comments, put what kind of Bible you are using. Who's the publisher? Is it a King James? Is it an English Standard Version? Do you use the Bible app the most? What is your favorite tool of study? All right then, and without further ado, let's get started.
So I'll start with my study Bible because that's where Kanisha started. And mine is brand new. It looks crisp and clean because you all saw my
The one that was falling apart.
thoroughly used one at the end of the other video. That one was a gift, and so it was a gift from my church, and I love that Bible. And as it was falling apart, it is the Zondervan KJV Study Bible. As it was falling apart, and I realized that it did not travel well.
No.
I started looking for another one, and this Bible is very much sold out in a lot of places, and so it took me a really long time to find one. And when I did see one, I hurried up and bought it. The downside is all the notes are in the other one. So like how you
still gotta have both of them.
You have to keep both of them. So this Bible, the reason why I like it, I'm a little nerdy, and so it's got like dates and chronology and history and maps. And all of that mattered to me. So when I was reading the Bible, I would think, well, why is this? Where is that? When did that happen? How does this connect to that? And so this Bible does a lot of in-depth connecting.
Well, that helps you with the rightly dividing, because that makes a difference who they're talking to and the time that they were living in.
Right. I wanted to know less about the editor or the translator or the theologian's perspective and theory, and more about what really happened.
Right.
I just wanted to understand why that was the translation, because the Bible wasn't written in English, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing.
That's the first thing. So it's another person speaking in another time and in another language. And so how did we come to this translation that is what they were saying? And that was what was important to me. And then also, I like subheadings. The Bible is a very big book. And so it's not like reading other novels. It's not a novel, but where you're just turning page by page and it's going in chronological order from start to finish. And so the maps and the commentary, and at the beginning of each book in the Bible, there is
a little breakdown.
It's a long breakdown.
Yeah, mine has that too. I didn't even talk about it, but those are good.
Those are good. So the author, the date it was written, its theme, some of the literary features, because sometimes you go from book to book in the Bible and it's like you literally changed books, and it's like, well, yeah, they were written.
They was wrote.
Maybe that'll be a word in the future. They were written by different people at different times, and so you're not crazy. There's been a shift here. And if you don't have a Bible that helps you understand that, and you're not knowledgeable to that information, it can be frustrating trying to go from First Kings, Second Kings, and First Chronicle and Second Chronicle. Like, didn't I just read about this?
It's different.
Something else that was very important to me, I mentioned it a minute ago because I talked about like First and Second Kings and First and Second Chronicles. I would be reading something and think, I've seen that. So the center column and the cross-referencing was very important to me. I told you I didn't get the gift of quoting, and I definitely don't have memorization. So sometimes I can remember where something was or where I heard this before, and a lot of times I don't. But being able to check the center columns and see, if I'm reading in Leviticus and I just happen to open it here at chapter 27, and it's telling me, where that's referenced in Exodus in chapter 30. So where things are related, really, and I used to wonder about that. I hear a message and the pastor or the preacher would take you to 15 chapters. I'm like, how did he know that all of those was going together?
What all they got to do with each other?
And it's connected. And the good thing about having a good study Bible is that someone has helped identify those points to you. I don't think it's always exhaustive, because sometimes I'll be reading and the Lord will show me something else that's connected, that's relevant for me, or what I'm studying at that time. But it's good to have a good starting point.
And it's crazy. For the longest, I didn't know what this semicolon was. I was like, why they got all this little bitty stuff in the middle? They're just taking up space. What is all of this?
What is it about? It's like, that's there to help you. These are for y'all.
That's what that's for.
The other Bible that I brought with me, it is the Maxwell Leadership Bible. And Kanisha and I talked about a study Bible I had a while. It was also a Maxwell, the one that got stolen. I hope he was blessed. This one I got when I was in grad school. It was I went to a Wesleyan school, so this was provided. It was part of our curriculum. I really like this Bible because, again, like Kanisha's Bible, it talks about character, and it really pieces out the development of leaders in the biblical history, and where they went astray, or where they succeeded, where they used the characteristics of God, how we identify those things in ourselves. And so an example of how it draws out some of the leadership characteristics we should pursue. I'm just flipped open to Proverbs 17. It says, better is a dry morsel with quietness than a house full of feasting with strife. A wise servant will rule over a son who causes shame, and will share an inheritance among the brothers. And so underneath it says, it's not about position, but empowerment. And it talks about how influence and production and credibility is valuable in a leader's character. And so what the Bible does here is help you understand how you should conduct yourself when you are a believer, because we're called to lead in various ways. So it's a different perspective, and I keep this Bible at work. Not necessarily because I'm supposed to be a leader. I guess I am.
We're all leaders in our own way,
Yes.
You have children, you lead in your household, if you have any type of influence, we all have influence to some degree over the people that you're around. We're all leaders.
Yes, and that is something that this Bible really stresses, is that it is not, again, about your position. It's about what you are capable to do where you are. I forgot to mention this, but my leadership Bible is also New King James Version, like Kanisha's Study Bible. But whichever translation you decide to use, or if you're questioning translations, if you're in a church, talk to your church. See which one is often used in Sunday school, in Bible study, and when they deliver the message. And you can also seek guidance from your pastor or people in your church about the differences between the translations.
Because there is a difference.
There is a difference. And whatever you decide, my suggestion is that you start reading. And I remember asking my pastor that, like, well, okay, so where should I start? And his recommendation was, why don't you start with what we're doing in church? That makes perfect sense, sir. What's going on in Sunday school, what was going on in Bible study, what was in the message, and just going home and reading that to get a better understanding of it. And if you're not a member of a body, or if you are, like so many people are, you've been displaced from your church and you're unable to connect through digital means, just pray for guidance and open the Word and ask God to help you know where to go. Because like Kanisha said, you can start anywhere.
Anywhere. There's no wrong place.
There's no wrong place. The Word is alive, and if you read it, something will stick with you from the page, and you will go from there.
The Bible is the most stolen book. Did I say that right? The most stolen book? It's also the most purchased book. Like, they don't put it on the top 100. They don't do that anymore because it's always at the top.
That makes sense.
It's the most stolen
And most purchased.
And most purchased.
Well, I can attest to being stolen.
We're not lacking in the word department.
I can attest someone took it right off my desk. And I was mad about it. But I decided that if you were going to steal a Bible, you probably needed it.
Yeah.
So.
You wanted it real bad.
You wanted it real bad.
You was willing to defy the words in the Bible to get the Bible.